for me, there are 5 corners of business. There is your ability, you know what I'm saying? Your ability to do something,
Right.
your credibility. That's being credible and being true in what you say. There's your accountability. Hey, I fucked up. What can I do to make this right? You gotta step to the plate and say I messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your responsibility. I made a commitment to you. I know there's a dozen parties out here. I would like to go to this event. I can't. You know? And your biggest and best is your availability.
We gonna talk biz on this one here. You know what I'm talking about? Big. Fuck this. I heard investment make the Forbes list. Amazon, the Rock Nation made investments themselves. Go buy the building, don't be worried about the door split. Even if the mission get hard, you can't avoid it. You see me getting money, well, I'm just expressing myself. It's harder building on your own, you always welcome to help. Build a mastermind group works in Napoleon Hill.
All right, we back. Another episode of Change Agents. I'm Trav.
Okay.
And today we have the problematic, amazing, beautiful, headache. How many other adjectives can I throw out there?
I mean, you're like knocking them down. Go ahead.
The beautiful Shea is with us. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Let me say it in my Detroit. What up, though?
So hold on. So we get professional you, or we get
What do you want?
homie you, or we get
I just want the real.
I'm a hybrid.
I ain't dealing with your shit today.
No, I'm a hybrid.
Yeah.
You can get professional. You can get it all in one. It's
So
like
let's
a
start
nice
with
burrito.
let's start with professional, so we can get the professional stuff out of the
I
way.
think we all need a healthy balance of both, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Problematic.
Ratchet and righteous.
You're gonna get it all. Sorry.
Exactly.
Right,
You know?
right. And you know,
Today is your day.
I'm just good all the time, but you know, stay on the side.
You're good what?
Stay on the side of the Lord.
Oh, okay. That's what we doing today.
Pastor Trav.
Are we lying now? That's how we started
Pastor
this
Trav.
off?
Pastor Trav.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? We got to
Don't.
pay.
Reverend Deacon Dr. Doug.
Hey man, even Jesus had to walk amongst the people. Tell the people what you do before we can get into it. And I got some gripes. I got some complaints.
Oh, okay.
I got some grievances.
So you're the Karen tonight.
I'm
You're
Karen. Yep.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm an entrepreneur. I am a mother, but what currently holds my attention is I am a printer and I own a shop called IDAP Solutions, which stands for Innovative Design and Printing Solutions.
Yes, for the acronyms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
HBUC.
I love me a good acronym.
Yeah.
I know, right? And you very good at it. Despite my grievances that's coming, you very good at it.
Oh, okay.
Notable clients, features all over the place.
Yeah.
What made you do that? What made you get into printing?
Truth?
Yeah, money.
No, it was, I wanted to pivot out of Chrysler. So I can't say it was desperation. I can say that I don't work well for others. I got their secret sauce, their recipe. I understand how corporate works.
Right.
I've never thought much of working for other people, but I do understand you need to see the logistics and how it works. So,
Yeah, go learn the game.
yeah.
I mean, both parents entrepreneurs, so
Yes.
it was kind of in you already. It was always gonna be.
I was a
entrepreneurship.
shopping cart baby. My parents owned 7-Elevens, and my mom went into labor while working at one of her stores, and that's how it went down.
Do you know the jokes I would have if she was born at 7-Eleven?
Inside the 7-Eleven?
Yeah, inside it.
No, my son was pretty much almost born at one of our mini malls. I went into labor in one of our mini malls, so yeah, keep going.
Saw that
We
flex?
just bought out.
You saw that flex?
So,
It's Saginaw.
I'm
I
just-
mean, it
so
would
let
be
me-
different.
So let me ask you this: like, how did y'all meet? Like, how did y'all kind of connect originally?
I know.
Would you like to go ahead?
go ahead.
Oh, no, I want to hear your version.
So the talented, beautiful Crystal
Okay.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with all of this so
So
far.
Crystal, I don't know if you remember, Crystal used to shoot. She was the only other person who used to shoot her podcast in the pink room when it was in the front.
Okay.
She used to come in. Crystal is she in PR.
Right.
She has her own show. She's the author.
Come on,
she's
keep
a
going.
mom.
Wrote several books.
She know.
Get my girl. Come
I
on,
said
keep
author.
going. No.
I'm never gonna shortchange
Segments
Crystal.
on Fox News.
I'm trying to figure out how
She is
cool with you.
PR and the manager for Chili and TLC. Come on, like that's the flex.
And she was with
Rolling Out, she
Rolling
still
Out
is.
and On. Mm-hmm. Like Crystal, big time. We're gonna get Crystal on here too.
Very humble.
Shout out Crystal.
But
Yes.
so Crystal, it's so crazy because we knew so many of the same people that everybody started telling me about Shea at the same time.
Man, you need to meet my boy.
Like,
he do this
She a
and
hater.
that.
She a hater.
I'm not.
How long ago was this? Like what year?
Nick said that too.
This might have been 2 years ago.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
About 2 years.
And so like how long have you had the business?
I started in 2010. I got here in 2008 and got brick and mortar 2013.
Okay.
You heard what she said she was from?
Saginaw, Michigan.
Her and Draymond.
I mean, we can keep.
It give you more context?
we can
But
just keep
let
going.
me finish.
That's explaining the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
I love Draymond.
Lamar Woodley is from Saginaw.
I love Draymond.
He played on the on the Steelers. Yes. I could just keep going. Mark Macon,
When your birthday?
September the 14th. I'm a
Okay.
Virgo.
Gotcha.
True.
Her and my mama.
Charles Rogers.
Virgo.
See it?
Come on.
You can't compete.
Jason Richardson.
You can't compete with my city, so just stay over there.
Where you from?
I'm from Albany.
Sandersville.
Now you look like
Georgia.
I mean, I'm just you know.
Ray Charles, Deion Sanders, Patty LaBelle.
Oh, okay. You can get Patty. I love me some Patty.
I can't get Deion?
Yeah.
I'm taking Deion over Draymond.
Showtime?
Draymond, I love you. Prime time.
Prime time. I'm sorry.
Prime time.
I mean, Draymond Green.
But let me finish.
He's an acquired taste.
As are you.
Is this thing on?
This guy.
Oh,
but-
man.
So Crystal's already shooting her podcast here.
Yeah.
And Crystal's like, Crystal kind of slick too, but Crystal was
what
like,
you do?
my girl, I need you to meet my girl. She's trying to find a new warehouse space. She want to move out of her old building. I want to come down, let her tour the place. Maybe y'all can partner. She print, she do merch, she do graphic sign, she do everything, all the stuff that we was looking for. For the record, Shea was supposed to print.
I'm still available.
Hold on. Shay was supposed to print your yard runner's photo on the outside of your office.
Oh, somebody asked me for a quote and did not follow through.
Can I finish?
Dang, so
How
what
does that
happened?
work?
Hold on.
Tell me
hold
about
on,
it.
Hold
I'm
on.
excited
Let me
to hear.
finish how I met this beautiful nightmare. Okay. So
That's what we do it that
So
way.
Crystal brought her down, and then this was right the first time Coach Nick brought the kids by.
Yeah, okay.
So that's how long they give you
Right,
like around
okay.
the ballpark range.
Yeah.
But I've known Nick maybe 10 years. I just ain't know that I didn't know what he did.
Yeah, he was
So I
top
didn't
of
know
that,
he was
Worked for
over
the
Parks and Recs. Mayor Cassine Reed told us to call the city and get interns and help get kids into space because we asked him about it. He said, "Hell, call this guy, Nick Clark," and it ended up being Nick.
Yeah.
So right after Crystal left, her and Crystal came by. They did a tour,
Yeah.
and she was like, "I like it, but can I have that whole side over there?"
This story is so long.
So the whole
getting
private side, she wanted for her side. I was like, I don't know, we gotta
Yeah.
sit down and talk. The same day she left, Nick called me and was like, "Hey, I need you to meet my girl," cause they had all the merch for the kids.
Right.
So I asked them who did the merch. He was like, "I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna put y'all together." So then he called me. He's like, "I need you to meet my girl." So all the Parts and Rec shirts she did, except for the last ones. We ain't gonna get into that.
Yeah, somebody been cheating on me.
She say Nick been cheating on her. Coach
okay.
Nick, I ain't got nothing to do
That's
with that, bro.
crazy.
All I know is that's how I met her. And then the next time, so I met her.
We need to get to this yard sign situation that you dragging ass on. Come on.
See,
She
listen.
ain't
This
playing.
is why you can't work for nobody. She can't follow the chain.
I have no problem with it.
So then they come by.
What is that
and then
Dave
she like,
Chappelle had that wrap it up B?
see,
Wrap it up
I
B.
tell you, she's just as bad as me.
Oh,
So
man.
then second time I meet her, we go, all three of us went to lunch.
Yeah.
Punt City Market, and we walk in and 12 sitting at the table next to us.
That's crazy.
So then we got into this whole conversation about life and how much Shea loves street niggas and all these other
Come on.
topics.
I mean, you gotta play
gotta get
their
out your-
homage because they have started a lot of record labels, a lot
I
of
love street
business.
niggas.
Okay, but
I'm from the
they
streets.
can't stay in it forever.
But it's funny because we literally did another segment before this, and we was talking about how if Zion had met a certain caliber of woman early in his life, he wouldn't be getting played on
Right.
internet like he
No,
getting played now.
he like what he like, and he like.
No, it's not even about him liking a porn star or whatever. It's just he
He
green.
like multiple
He
ones.
green though. He's
Nah,
super green.
This nigga 22 years old.
He went
This
through
is
his
what
phase.
he like.
He went through his phase.
I don't think it's a phase. I think that's who he is.
It might be.
Did you see the chick twerking on the table with Lil Boosie?
I ain't even see that.
He had to see that beforehand.
You see her at the studio?
Did you see?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That was
She
on the
talking about-
table and she bust the
She
splits.
seen her yet.
Do you see Mariah when Mariah painted herself in Duke blue?
Yeah, and did the.
That was here.
Oh. That's interesting.
Hey, man, you can't limit creativity.
The plot thickens.
So that's how I come to the greatness.
Okay. Yeah.
Still doesn't explain the sign, the yard sign, though.
I would love for you to take the reins. from
Allow
this
me
one.
to retort.
Yeah.
So,
Help us out.
I sent someone a quote.
How long? How long did it take?
I had to come over here and measure several times because obviously their tape measure
It don't
doesn't
work.
work well. That part.
I got you.
So sent them a quote and
How long did it take?
radio silent. It doesn't matter. You got the quote.
How long did it take?
You got the quote.
If we're gonna tell the story like I told you to tell it.
Is it on the wall yet? Is it?
Nah,
oh,
it ain't made it there. You know?
Okay.
But-
I'm just waiting.
You know, she got so busy and then.
No.
Hold on.
Don't
She got
speak for
busy.
me.
She got busy. Took a little time on
Because
the
I'll
quote.
make time for Travis.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got the quote, we had changed the plan on where we was going to put that current allotment of money.
So this was something for you that you never got, right?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
You try to turn me against my dog?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm just speaking
always-
facts. It
it's
was a
always a
gift
woman.
for
It's always a
him that
woman.
he had not received.
That wasn't the only print you was supposed to do.
I was waiting for everything else.
It's still going to happen.
Are we gonna do?
It's still gonna
happen. We ain't finna.
It's still
agree.
gonna happen.
Okay, I'm waiting on you, boo.
Now, you have notable clients. You've done. Oh, I stood you up one time too. But you've
Several
done,
times. For this.
You've
And then you were
done.
late when
You
I was
have
coming here. before.
amazing events. You've done work with Google, Facebook.
Jack Daniels.
Get your shit off.
I mean,
Who's your favorite, or what's your favorite project so far? We're still in professional.
the favorite is when the check clears. They're all favorite when the check is processed. Until then, it's a bunch of nerves and stress.
I hear you.
I like them all.
But I know you. You very passionate about your creative.
I like
Very
them all.
detailed.
I like them all.
So let me
As long as the check processes.
let me ask you.
What's
this.
the
so
budget?
you said you got started like 08, 2010. Is that correct?
I came here in 2008,
Okay.
but I started, what sparked my interest is I had developed this product that basically helps women rest in different positions. But then as I developed this medical product, I realized that guys who have rotator cuff injuries and all kind of stuff could actually use this pillow that's been cut and contoured to help you rest in different positions. But when I got here in 2008, the bottom fell out of everything. So that's when like the
That's the
automotive
part. Yeah, the
industry,
recession. Yeah.
the real estate industry was going left, and I wound up
Market
walking
crash.
into this convention because me being with cars, I wound up being headhunted by a couple companies that wanted me to talk about their cars for them.
Right.
So I wound up being in this convention, and they had this machine that was gonna change the industry. Up until then, everybody had been doing screen printing, and it was a DTG machine. And it was my first lesson on your credit and just learning about first gen machinery, equipment. And that's how I got introduced into, before then though, as a kid, my parents had he pressed the letters, and they had breakdancing, groups that they sponsored, and we would do the transfers on the shirt.
Yeah.
And so that was my introduction through my parents. But
Okay,
then when I
yeah.
got here, the DTG machine was no mess, no fuss, and the machine cost me It was a $25,000 machine with 19% interest in the end, wound up being like 40 grand, and I had an 825, maybe 830 credit score. And I didn't know my value. I didn't know then, you know, I just knew I had worked to get this credit score because everybody's talking about, but nobody tells you about the power and how you can use your credit score to pivot and do certain things. So my mom begged me not to. I did it anyway. So, but what it did was it was my ticket to talking to people and who were in the industry that was like, who is this dummy that bought this machine? But I wound up being taken on by people who had been in the industry, the printing industry forever, and they just kept moving me around. I was eager to learn. I was coachable. So I always tell people that you can be better than, this guy's out there better than LeBron, Steph Curry, all of them rolled and won, but they're not coachable. They at the rec shooting ball because they won't listen. They don't know how to be a team player. That is what I knew, how to be a team player and how to be coachable, and that's what got me in the game.
Talk a little bit more about, like, you know, you talk about like just having mentors and having people that just kind of help you along when you were starting out. Like, what did that kind of like look like for you in the beginning?
So what part? I mean, there's several different parts. I've been in the garage with my uncle and my dad learning about cars.
We can start there.
So cars are not my passion, but I can tell you anything about engine option, horsepower, towing capacity, a Cummins diesel engine. It's not my passion, but people think it's my passion because I'm so knowledgeable about it. It was my Willy Wonka ticket into the factory of being able to talk to people. So my uncle, I don't have this view, and sometimes when I hear people talk about black men and black men ain't this and black men, I'm thrown off because all the black men in my life put me on pedestals, from my uncles to my dad to the people that came through my parents' convenience store. I call it a liquor store. My mom corrects me.
And me too.
And you too. So when I view black men coming up, they were my protectors. So I had the street men. You want to know why I love street men? Because the guys that came through my shop, my parents' liquor store, were pimps, drug dealers, and street hustlers. So I would be sitting on the rail in the front of the store, and they'd be like, let me tell you something, you're going to be an issue, little mama. Don't let no man trick you into thinking gifts. So they was giving me game, you know, because I was the baby of the store. So those were my mentors. I don't care how bad other people saw them. To me, they wasn't letting anybody bother or touch me because I was their princess that was in the liquor store. My parents was the Huxtables of the hood. So couldn't nobody say, and then I got down. So if somebody confronted me or I got into it with a girl, I would get out there and fight like the rest of them. I wasn't hiding behind anybody. So I got a lot of respect on that. So the men,
phones. No camera phones back then. So, you just had to earn your name.
My dad didn't push me out the door. Girl talking crazy. My daddy pushed me out the door and closed the door. And my mom was like, don't. And my dad was like, let her get out there and fight. We out there fighting. The girl running around the hood say I had people jump her. And the people that was around was like, no, you got your ass whipped square and fair. So, but then I went to private schools with the white kids and got to fight with them because they was calling me nigga. So it was all day back and forth. So I knew how to deal with conflict all the time. And the men in my life were not predators or people that was mistreating me. They treated me good. So that's why.
And a lot of people don't look at that like mentorship. But I always tell people I learn more from drug dealers and rappers than I learn from anybody. Because even when you coming up in the neighborhood, we play sports. If you the nice one in the neighborhood, number one, you gonna know all the OGs before you know really the rest of the kids, because they gonna identify you. And
they ticket out of the hood, hopefully.
Or you either they ticket or you they son ticket, or you gonna be something big enough to bring some more light to this area, which means you're gonna bring more money to this area.
That's aligning and attaching themselves to something greater than them. They get it. The hood is it for them, but in you they see something bigger.
And then some of them lessons they might come off, and that's why I talk crazy sometimes.
All the time? 90% of the time.
We good?
No, I'm good. No, one thing I was just gonna ask, like, you know, most people, 08, you know, it's what's that, like 15 years ago, right? So like at that point in time, most people spending $40,000 on a car, you know, a Mercedes or some shit like that. Like you bought like a print machine. So like talk about that, like just that discernment to know that like this is something that you can really invest into and build.
Yeah, like when your mom told you not to do it, why were you so strong in your conviction to do it?
Because my initial plan was to use this pillow. I wasn't going back to Saginaw. That was it. My mom had my son. I have to pay respect to my parents because even though I had a child, my parents wasn't like, you need to come back here and raise him. My mama said, look, don't come back here with your tail tucked between your legs. You get out there and you make it work. Keep your self-respect. My dad, on the other hand, and my uncle wanted to keep me near and protect me. So their thing was just a bunch of pretty girls in Atlanta. The one thing I could say about my mom, she was like, but they ain't got Shea. She's always been my supporter and biggest cheerleader, right? So it's never been a competition on that. So even when she has, let's say when I was in college and I wanted to retile my floor, I'd rather try it on my own, fuck the floor up, and then maybe we can call somebody in to fix it. I want to see first. So even though she told me, I had sat back and said, this is what I'm going to do. I respect that I'm about to get myself into this. It's a commitment. I know I'm going to pay for it to the end, and I paid every note. It was $780. I remember how it was. I had to put so much down, $5,000 down, $780 a month for 5 years, and I paid every last one. When the machine broke down on me a year into having it, and I took it apart like a Chevy in the yard, and I kept taking it apart because shipping it back and forth to Philly was costly, $1,200. Every time I sent it to them and every time they sent it back. So I'm like, this is bullshit. I got to figure it. So I YouTubed it. I broke the machine down. And that's what gained the respect of the people that allowed me to be in their shop. See, the guy who was one of my mentors who started me in the game, so Miss Gwen is one of the ladies that I met at a jazz festival, and I was talking to her wife. Chrysler gave me the gift of gab. So I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. I don't care what your color, sexual orientation, whatever. So Chrysler gave me the gift of gab, and I was able to talk to this lady. And she said, well, my wife has a printing shop. Okay. So she comes and she starts talking to me. And I say, you know, I'm at the Port of Sanford, and I had the concession machine, the concession stands. I said, well, I got a commitment over here, but as soon as I finish over here, I'm on my way to you. I went over there with Miss Gwen. She gave me the basic fundamentals. She said, I really can't do much with you, but I want to introduce you to Tim. I went over there. Tim said, hey, you can come in my shop for free. I want to see this new machine you got. Put my machine on a truck. The next day I was moving my stuff to his shop. For me, there are 5 corners of business. There is your ability, you know what I'm saying? Your ability to do something, your credibility, that's being credible and being true in what you say. There's your accountability. Hey, I fucked up. What can I do to make this right? You gotta step to the plate and say I messed up. You know what I'm saying? Your responsibility. I made a commitment to you. I know there's a dozen parties out here. I would like to go to this event. I can't, you know? And your biggest and best is your availability, is to be able to be, when somebody calls you in these opportunities like YouTube and Google and stuff, I'm available. What do I need to do? Well, we need it today. Okay, well, you know, these are the things that my parents have taught me, and I'm not scared. So as far as the machine was concerned, and my mom saying, bringing it back to what you asked me, my mom said, don't do it. I was willing to accept the responsibility of, I'm gonna have to pay every note or else you're gonna have messed up credit.
Just to pick about that, it feels like you just really made like a real commitment to you know what I'm saying, and just having an effect on yourself. So I just wanted to just talk about that. It's just like, that's powerful. I think for a lot of women, they just need to see that. You know what I'm saying? Just having women who just are like committed to whatever they start and not strayed away from it.
You don't think men are not committed as well?
No, I agree. But like just
in that corner, my boy.
I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, why specifically women?
No, since I am talking to a woman, that's the reason why I said that.
Okay.
So,
but I also look at it too, like male or female, most people don't want to be uncomfortable. It seems like what everything you said so far is, I've always been comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And because you're comfortable being uncomfortable, you can go do anything. I already felt like you could do anything, but it just gives more context to why you feel that way.
So it started off, I had a very comfortable life before I had my son, right? So my parents were considered wealthy. I didn't have to get up before I went to Fisk. The tuition was crazy.
Fisk University, high as hell.
High. I didn't have any student debt or loans. My parents, I pulled up in a brand new vehicle. I got a Lexus coupe when I was my junior year in school. So my parents did very well. Saying that to say, when I had my son and 9/11 hit, everything changed in the blink of an eye. So I went from, I can get up when I want to. Money is there. My parents had given me a house. All the stuff that normally people struggle about, student debt, housing stuff, all that stuff was just granted to me. And then I woke up one day and I wind up having my son. I owed the hospital $25,000. And I was just...
And they told you to figure it out.
No, my uncle, my parents had some other stuff going on, and my relationship with my son's father was tanking. He was a street dude. So we would count trash bags of money. Hopefully Rico won't matter at this point.
I think we, statutes is up.
Just gonna be sure.
Statutes
We would count trash bags of money, and money was never an issue. And then there was some trouble with his situation, and the relationship started spiraling, and I'm blowing snot bubbles, I'm crying, and my uncle checked the shit out of me. I had Land Cruisers and all. He said, look at your car, you're riding around here on ball tires. You want somebody? I'm like, a relationship, and I don't know if I can make it. And I'm expecting him to have some sympathy, however, because it's the man that always, put me on a pedestal. He's, look at you. The fuck is wrong with you? Your hair not done, all your cars is raggedy, your truck got ball tired. Get your fucking life together. And I'm expecting him to, pull me in and hug me.
You wanted the hug.
Oh, yeah. No. Boss up, bitch. This is what life is. You got a baby, get to it. I was like, all right.
Right.
And at that moment, I knew, I had to get to it. So I had this cushy, like I said, 9/11 hit. My parents had bought 2 buildings at $1 million a piece. At the time, that's a big deal. In 2000,
That's still a
and
big deal.
everybody who was gonna get a space in that spot backed out on them. My daddy was in the midst of trying to sell his convenience stores, and the people who bought it from him was playing games. So that money was gone. All of it just
Everything
happened
tied
at
up.
one time. And I had to get my act together.
Time out. You said something. This got nothing to do with the episode.
Okay.
My daughter's 16. My daughter want an Audi. And I think it's the craziest thing in the world. Everybody telling me I should buy it.
You shouldn't or you should?
I should. I think the complete opposite. You got a Lexus at 16, 17.
17, yeah. 17, 18.
So she'll be 17 in October. So I just think that's crazy, man.
I can't, it's all based on whatever kind of morals and values. My daddy did it because he didn't want me to get down to school and get caught up with some drug dealers. And at the time, being people mule was a big thing. So my dad would send me thousands of dollars in food stamps and $50 and stuff like that he would get from the store.
Just
so
to
I
get-
never had any.
So they couldn't influence you with all the other stuff?
No, nigga, you gonna do what for me? Do you know who my daddy is? I'm pulling up in the same thing as the drug dealer's pulling up in. So,
That makes sense.
but he had a method to his madness,
Yeah. It wasn't just because you wanted a Lexus. He was making a statement that needed to be made.
I mean, my first car was an S10 pickup truck, kitted out, dropped to the ground, top cut out. I mean, that's what I was into.
Fish over there,
But-
like, man, that's
What
all.
color?
Black.
Word.
I wanted a Typhoon. Remember when Typhoons and Cyclones
Yeah.
was hot because they had the
Yeah.
big engine?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. So I settled for a knockoff.
Gotcha.
Fish is our car guy, so he over there like amazed. But when did you feel like your company became, okay, now I can say I made it. It's a success. It's profitable.
I don't. This is my issue. I still hustle like I just opened up the 1,000 square foot spot. I have never been comfortable. I never sleep. I have never gotten to a point where I can shimmy my shoulders and be like, now I will put my dick on the table when people start talking slick to me and be like, oh, you print.
Pull it out there.
You print t-shirts.
Sit it on the table.
You print t-shirts. And then I had to bust their head and be like, no, I'm in 6,000 square feet with a couple $1 million worth of equipment. Get it right, bitch.
Facts.
I'm glad you saying that though, from a woman perspective, because I think a lot of time, people always, we don't have these conversations. People always say, oh, you made time for what you want to make time for. Don't nobody work that much.
No, that's bullshit.
It ain't no such thing as working too much.
No.
For us. And I just think we crazy.
The issue that I've had with dating is people think they can come in there and how hard is it to put something on a t-shirt? So I have to always give them this analogy.
Well, all y'all doing is doing podcasts. All y'all doing is doing photo shoots.
Yeah, like, how you gonna tell me how I do what I do?
When people give you their money, they're expecting pure perfection, right?
Yeah.
That's what they expect.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I say, how do you feel if you went to your local mechanic and you needed your brakes changed? And he goes, me and the old lady is gonna spend some time together. She's gonna help me change your brakes. You'd be like, what the fuck? Put my car back together. No, you're not.
Right.
So it's the same thing. I understand and I appreciate you wanting to be a part of it and help me. But the truth is, the professionalism won't allow you to be in here and just help me with the t-shirts.
Right.
And then the other thing is, I expect consistency. I don't want you dropping in every once in a while to help me.
Yeah.
If you're gonna help me, motherfucker, come in here Monday through Friday.
Exactly. Yeah.
And have a time.
Yeah, be
Don't
consistent.
come in here randomly. Be consistent.
Yeah.
Or never come and shut up.
Right.
Because you're gonna be underfoot and you're gonna be in my
pick
way.
a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that is something that you have to accept. I hear the statement that what they say, Big Me said, a man with time ain't got no money. A man with money ain't got no time.
Right.
I mean,
You gotta pick one. You can't be both.
so then
Is what
you
it
find
is.
somebody that is equally yoked to you, that complements what you do, that y'all can do things in the same space. And unfortunately, you cannot find somebody. I mean, you can if somebody is willing to put up with you being MIA for time and them, you have plans to go somewhere and you got to cancel the plans because something then went over or something then broke
Story
in here.
of our life.
That's just what it is.
The game is the game, and I
been a
can't
decade of
apologize for it.
Yeah.
But I also look at it like whoever finds passion finds direction. So it don't even matter if, like, say I can get this job done in 4 hours. Say we can shoot this podcast in 4 hours
Okay.
if the guests show up on time.
I mean,
But-
dealing in Atlanta traffic, you never know what you're gonna get.
Can't throw a shot. But my point is, if sometimes it can be done in this time block, but in this time block, maybe Caleb said something that inspired another idea. I can't miss that idea or miss that window of inspiration just so I can see you at 8 o'clock.
So what do you do? Do you not date?
I really don't get attached, to be honest with you. Because I know my expectation and your expectation normally won't add up.
Are you gonna be lonely? Are you lonely?
I'm not lonely.
Are you
but-
lonely? Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Why did you pause?
No.
You had to think about it. You like, shit, she watched this
camera
damn
eye.
podcast,
It
and I
might-
say no.
It ain't that. It's just like just to answer your question, it's just
Why'd
like
you shift your whole body position?
She
because
count
I'm
on you
getting
now.
comfortable.
She
Oh,
count.
okay.
Like you.
I'm good.
I'm good too.
Okay.
But just doing what we do, it's hard dating. It's hard getting somebody to like align with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
And then for me is, I'm gonna give you the worst. Like I'm gonna give you the worst up front. So if I met somebody and I wanted to start dating all over, and I'm like, okay, I know what the next 10 months look like for me, or I know what the next 10 months of goals look like for me. I'm not finna give you this first 2-3 weeks of complete availability. I'm gonna move all my schedule around. Because now I'm lying to you.
Right.
Now you're gonna expect that.
Yeah, you setting the
So I'm setting it
expectations.
on the whole other spectrum.
You just call them and you just ghost them.
I
does
do
that work
believe
for
in
you?
ghosting.
How does that work?
Ghosting is
So
a
you
matter
ghost
of,
somebody that you like?
Sometimes you realize people you like you can't work with. You don't think so?
No, you saying work with or date?
No, I'm saying sometimes you like a person, but you realize y'all won't work.
So you kill it before it even get out the gate?
No, I'm gonna let you kill it.
Huh.
To be honest, I'm just not gonna over concede in the beginning. I think a lot of people do that. Men and women, they overcompensate in the beginning because they really like you and they really want you to like them. And everybody's selling dreams.
So what you think?
Get it right.
What do I think? Ask me the question.
That's the
because we
question.
just talked about a whole bunch of stuff. He made a statement. What's the question?
Dating wise for you, what works for you?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I'm
What do you
fortunate-
think it looks like then?
What I think it looks like? Sometimes I think it looks like somebody being able to be in the same space and
Okay.
do what I do, and then that person has come and then they try to take over. Me, Tarzan, you, Jane, how you know how to, like, I'm like, what the?
Gotcha.
So that don't work.
That doesn't work. And I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. And when
So
I
you really
see
need
it,
an assistant.
Are you
Huh?
lonely?
So you need an assistant,
I need an assistant.
like a personal assistant. Like
And why would I
somebody-
need that?
I mean, you said a partner hasn't worked, so like maybe an assistant may work then.
Are we
like
talking about business partner or relationship partner?
relationship partner?
Okay, you gotta
Yeah.
be specific. I feel like you dancing around it. You
It
saying
ain't-
like
it
a
ain't
fuck
dance.
buddy?
It ain't
Is
a
that what we
dance.
saying?
No, it's not that.
I need an assistant. Well, what is an
It's
assistant?
the same conversation y'all was
So
just
I'll
having.
give you a perfect example. I don't think I could date somebody else in production.
Why not? They would get what you're doing.
But they will do the same thing. They'll impose. Like
That's the
they'll-
person not understanding boundaries.
most people don't.
Well, then that's not the person for you. I think a person that would be in your line of business who also understands boundaries and does well with communication. Hey, am I stepping in too far? Do you want my opinion?
Sound like a ghost.
Oh, damn.
Do you think you could date somebody that's not an entrepreneur?
I don't. Past tense been an entrepreneur. We got to be specific. They've been an entrepreneur before and they settled
Been
for
corporate
the
their whole career. But very corporately successful. Why not? They gonna put you in there with what's shorty name? What's shorty name?
Who? The chick
The
that
loudmouth.
the one that was I just talked
We
about
need to
this
cut
today.
that.
They had
I
a
ain't cutting shit.
Leave it
Oh.
in. It's all good. Leave it in.
What's her name? B Simone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me and her are not the same.
I'm just saying they're gonna lump you in there because she said
They
she
can't,
can't.
but
She
she-
can't date a man that's not a.
But see, that's
entrepreneur.
what she led with.
So
Her 9 to 5 and what she was saying is somebody worked at McDonald's, right? Was that her explanation or her dig?
I think she went around a couple of examples.
Okay, so mine isn't so much about their finances and their financial. It's the understanding. You get certain holidays off. You get bonuses. This a grind 24/7. Shit, it might be up today and down tomorrow. I might have made a wrong decision. I might have somebody to do 5,000 shirts and spell them wrong. That's done happened. I've been on a red carpet at an event and got a phone call and said, I know we approved it, but the mayor need these shirts tomorrow.
They
and
wrong.
we didn't spell heroes wrong. And then I have to immediately walk off the red carpet and say, hey,
You don't
Fuck
think
this
somebody
again.
in corporate could understand that? An
No.
executive? What about an executive?
I don't think, no, because there's a certain limit to their responsibilities. It's still somebody else's stuff. It's a certain type of feel you have when it's your shit.
That's
And
true.
my shit said I needed to walk off from that event. As much as I was a part of it, I gotta go because I have to reorder these shirts, have them set up by tomorrow, and then we have to change the artwork, and I have to have this ready by 5 o'clock.
Would you
Period.
ever go back corporate
Hell no.
for no money?
Too many chiefs.
Facts.
No, too many chiefs. It's shit rolls downhill. Everybody important. And my biggest fear was working for somebody that absolutely hated me and wanted to torture me for whatever my career is with them. I don't, it's too much shit goes on in corporate.
Yeah, corporate is bullshit.
They play a hella five
Now
foot game.
I'll do consulting with companies on like a time basis,
Yeah, you're still working
but I'm
for
still
yourself.
working for me.
It's different when somebody plays a game with you and go, I don't like you today. And you're like, what the fuck we need
So
to get
I'm gonna
this
make
fight?
your life hell for the
Yeah,
next.
just stupid shit. I done seen it go down in Chrysler and I don't like that color. I like this color. It's the same fucking color. What are you talking about? And that's because they feel like, giving you a hard time.
It's my last question, based off of that. So how do you motivate employees?
Ooh.
Because and we all do this to a certain extent, we push entrepreneurship so much, right? But undoubtedly, all of us have companies that we need people who are going to be better employees and not try to be chiefs.
Okay.
So how do you encourage them if your mindset doesn't really align with what you need them to be?
So what I learned is finding people's strengths and weaknesses, right? And encouraging them in that point. Like I had a girl in there, she was all about the money. She just loved the kill of the sale. I had another person that loved being creative in the end of the finished product, right? So if she liked the kill of the sale, then her thing was in sales and talking to people to encourage them to spend and buy more. Morally defunct, probably the worst person I done ever came across, right? But it wasn't until I figured out like, this isn't gonna work that I had to cut her loose. But until then, I figured out what she loved was talking to customers, and that's how I encouraged her through, let's say, bonuses and stuff like that. So if you upsell somebody $10,000, I'm gonna throw you $1,000 in there for the bonus or whatever the percentage wise is, right? Then I had a guy who loved titles. I mean, he could be, cleaning the toilets, but as long as you
Director
call him,
of Environmental Services.
yeah, sanitation engineer or something like that. He took his titles very, he took them very personal and they were important to him. So you have to be in tune with who's working for you and what's their key point and their strong point and what's important to them and see how that aligns with what you have going on. Sometimes it just doesn't work. It just, the person might feel like, and I've had this a couple times, people get in and want to take over. And that's what they
or just
feel
don't want
like.
to work. They're not even entrepreneurs at heart.
No.
But they've heard everybody say, I don't want to work for nobody. I don't want to work for nobody. I don't
It's
want to work
not
for
even
nobody.
that. It's how the fuck you get here and I'm here and I feel like I'm just as smart as you. I don't want the responsibility of paying bills. I don't want the responsibility of paying people. I don't want to figure out the price and the price charts and how things put together. But I feel like I'm a man and you a woman and I should be running this shit even if I run it down into the ground. Fuck it, burn it down.
It is so insulting when people be like, man, you look like you be having fun. I want your job.
Right.
You like,
yeah. You a
nigga?
director. Like,
nigga,
I mean,
you ain't see them 37 calls I had between 9 and 2 a.m. last night.
I mean, everybody think being an actress is being fun. They don't think about sitting up there trying to remember lines
Table
and
reads.
somebody telling it. You see a 30-second commercial and that shit took 2 days to film.
right.
It looked like fun on that 30 seconds, but okay, do it again. Run down the steps again. Run up the steps again. Oh, it's 100 degrees outside. You're a model, put on a fur coat, and we want you to look like you're in the middle of winter. I did all of that. People
Trust
cutting
me, we
your
know.
hair and doing all kind of stuff.
I always tell people too, 90% of the shoots we don't have fun on the shoot. We have fun with the whole project and when it's done. But on shoot day, it's shit I can't say to him. I be like, hey bro, look at this. He be like, hey bro, man, I got something to do. Or it's just I just think people just underestimate what it takes to get to a place of where you have employees, where you have mentees, where you have interns and all of that. So
And constantly trying to make it work. But I think our culture does a big deal of looking over in somebody else's pasture and
they think
wanting
they know
what
how
they
to
got.
grow what they grow. Like,
So great example.
Yeah.
I keep hearing all this shit about a soft life, and I want what white women have, and white women have men that take care of them, and they get the. And I sat down and talked with this white guy, and I said, I want to know, is the rumors true? Do
Y'all
white
really
women-
giving them soft life?
Are y'all having soft lives? And he said, no. He said, my wife was dirt dog poor. And he went through the whole thing. And I said, I don't know why my culture seems to think that white women have it so well. And they just sit around eating bonbons. And
Commercialism.
who was a part of women's suffrage? You know, who joined the civil rights movement because their rights were being compromised as well.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be no Karens if they was all living soft lives.
Why are they so mad?
Yeah.
But I mean, that we do we always want to look over there like this culture, they think so great of their women, but we don't talk about when in Middle Eastern cultures, if women get raped, they kill their ass. You're not
Right.
gonna shame the family. Why are we wanting the stuff that we really don't sit down and do our research on?
Ignorance. Like, I used to live in North Carolina. North Carolina had a 60% white male to white woman husband kills wife ratio. 60%.
But we want that. I want some of that. Looks great over there.
So our producers have come up with our last overall
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
Right now,
Drum roll.
you killing your shit. I'm not gassing you. You know I don't gas you. I actually go out of my way. I go out of my way to talk shit to you. But
I enjoy it though.
I know, we love it.
Threaten
We
me
go
with a
back
good
and forth all the
time.
time. But what's something about your industry or even your career right now that you say, I need to change this or I want to change this?
There's no way to automate what I do. You know, it's very detail-oriented industry. You miss one detail and the whole project is fucked. So that's nothing a computer or anything can do. It's something that I constantly have to have my hands and eye on. I've tried to let other people you need to delegate, you need to do this, and then you come back and the whole fucking building is on fire. And you be like, why?
Right.
Or, so my industry is very, like I said, detail oriented. YouTube, and we want the dot to be over there, and we want it to be blue, and we want to move it 2 inches. Can we move it 2 inches to the left? No, So that is probably my biggest issue that I hate, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm trying to figure it out. How do you automate what you do? I sat on a plane with a guy that did, he worked for Vistaprint, right? And somewhere in some printer's life, we feel like we can compete with that guy.
Right.
And so the guy was scared as shit to ride the plane, so I talked to him the whole way. And I said, I just need to understand how it works. And he said, there's an algorithm. And at that moment, I was like, oh, I'm out of my fucking league. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't know nothing about this shit.
you got a computer that takes thousands of people orders and figures out how to game sheet all these business cards. He said, yeah, they got, we come in and repair the machines, and sometimes if the machines are broken, they just say, fuck it. We just buy another $1 million machine rather than spending, a couple thousand a time that we'll be down to fix it. They'll just buy another machine.
Can't
And
compete
that's
with
when
that.
I knew that I couldn't, I'm gonna have to stay in my lane and just be happy that as, a woman, a black woman, that I have these things put in place that allow me a fair stab at business. So, but yeah, that's the hardest part, is that you can't automate it. You always have to have your eyes and hands on it. That's why I know how to operate every piece of equipment in there. The laser cutter, the CNC router, the screen printing machine. I know how to tear those machines apart and then rewire them. I know all of that stuff. I have to, or I'm left at somebody else's mercy.
No days off. Tell the people where they can find you.
Oh man. You can find me in no. I'm just
Oh my God, bro. Come on, man.
Gotta love her.
You can find me on IG or my social media as Shea, 2 Touch. That's the number 2, SHEA, 2 Touch. or IDAP Solutions, which is spelled IDAP Solutions. Yeah.
She don't post on her main page, so just follow that.
I do post on my main page.
You gotten better, but for a while you got real
You be
quiet.
on a reality show, you get sick of that shit. You know, it's weird.
That makes sense.
I think people are weird sitting around taking pictures of themselves.
To change anything, you got to be two things. You got to be aware and you got to be inspired. Be a change agent. I'm Trav.
It's Caleb.
Yes, I'm
We
Shea.
out. We out.
She might be. She might be
out.
cloned. We out.